Hi everyone, Sid here again, back in the bathroom. Ooh, just in time for the buzzer. So today's lather will be Old Faithful, which as you know is Pro Rezo Red with tea tree oil. I would like to cover a topic today which I have no notes, and hopefully I'll be able to get to everything that I wanted to talk about on this topic. But it's something I wanted to address for a while because it's one of the more frequent false appeals that I hear when talking with people about voluntary society and getting rid of the state and that kind of stuff. So I would like to talk and make a distinction between human nature and the human condition, because I often hear this argument that we need a government because human nature is to be brutal or greedy or selfish or to not help others or all that bullshit. Well, it's bullshit when you apply it to human nature. So let me make that distinction right now. Human nature is really simple, really basic. I think that it only has two things. And when you add anything to those, you are not talking about human nature anymore. So, human nature, two things in it. One, lives to pursue happiness. And number two, adapts to circumstances. So that, like a point that I hear Molyneux often make on his shows is the way he says it is asking what is human nature is like asking what is the shape of water, and that's really an astute metaphor, because human nature is to pursue happiness through the adaptation to your circumstances. So the thing is, if you're walking around, and I'm really happy I have these glasses for that, but if you walk around and all you see is water in octagonal glasses, then if you don't look any deeper than that, you can draw the false conclusion that the nature of water is to be in the shape of an octagonal prism, but that would not be valid, because all you need to do is pour water into a hemisphere and you would see that the water will adapt to that hemispherical shape. So the real gist of what I wanted to say is that human nature is to adapt to circumstances, and the human condition, though, is something else, because the world that we live in a world that has a bunch of octagonally shaped glasses, and obviously we adapt to that and we take on the octagonal shape. So that's kind of why I believe that people in libertarian circles, anyway, people talk about this. Sometimes they talk about this magic button that if you pushed it would instantly get rid of government. There are arguments for and against it. I haven't really delved into that thought experiment very deeply. I think it's Rothbard or something who says that he would push the button. I personally wouldn't, because I don't think that the human condition is such that if government would to disappear overnight, that people would be free. I think that there's a demand for government. I think that we're so used to being put into octagonally shaped glasses that if I was to shatter this glass, the molecules would say, hey, we need a new octagon glass to return to our nature, because they're confusing their nature with their condition. And this dovetails nicely into another, for lack of a better term, argument. Hopefully I'll come up with a better term before I finish this shave. But something I don't often hear it, because the people that I engage with these discussions are generally smarter than that. But I have heard some of them say it, and I've addressed it with them. But a false argument that's out there is that if you hate government so much, why don't you move to Somalia? Now, I will put a caveat on this thread right now. I've done zero research, well, near zero research on what's going on in Somalia. They might even have restored order, whatever that means, over there, for all I know. If you're watching this from Somalia, please leave a comment here. Let me know what's going on. But there's one thing that I can say right now is that Somalia is not an example of anarchism. Somalia is an example of a failed state because I forget who I heard making this point. It's not like the people of Somalia all read Rothbard or Hayek or von Mises, and then they all suddenly realize, hey, if I keep all my income, I don't need these people. And then just like that, we had that critical mass of tax resistors that it would take for government to become powerless overnight. What happened there is, I believe, the government got bloated, eventually led to civil war, and then it just collapsed. Like shattering this glass, leaving all the water to wonder, hey, where's my octagon? And I think that what's going on in Somalia is a good example to illustrate why I, as of right now, if such a magic button existed that would get rid of government overnight, I would not push it. Not only that, I would use any means that I would deem necessary to stop someone from pushing that button, up to and including tackling that person. I wouldn't kill someone, but like as of right now, again, I think that if that button was there and someone was walking towards it like this, saying, hey, watch me push this button, that by tackling this person, I would be exercising the self-defense rights of all these people who would suddenly be left high and dry. And I think that with the human condition that exists at the moment, that there would definitely be this power vacuum that people speak of, that can be left to be filled with gangs and pirates and whatnot. I'll be right back. So, this is another one of these where I lost my train of thought. But I just wanted to point out that, just to recap what I said, Somalia is not an example of anarchism. Somalia is an example of a failed state, which means, well, it doesn't... Okay, let me just say it, and then hopefully my ramblings will make sense of it afterward. We're all headed towards Somalia right now, because governments, they get bloated and then they implode, leaving the poor high and dry. The very poor that so many people care about, rightfully so, are always the first ones, the poor are the ones who are right next to the fan with their arms like this when the shit hits the fan. So having a system that relies on a coercive monopoly to take care of them will leave them the most vulnerable when this system inevitably implodes in on itself via, I guess, some kind of civil war or whatever would happen when the government implodes on itself. But one thing I can tell you right now, and again, I can say this with 100% certainty, even though I've done absolutely, near zero research on what's going on in Somalia. And I can say this. Every single person who's been stolen from by a Somali pirate was born in the past. So this is yet another rib on national debt or national deficit. you will hear me harping on national deficit or stealing from the unborn very, very often because of all the government evils. I'm not sure what I find more horrible between war and national debt because I think it's war and national debt have this kind of chicken and egg relationship because wars are funded through taxation and debt, mainly debt, I would say, because it's so expensive that you can't really tax people enough to pay for it without going into debt. So even the most hardcore and brutal Somali pirate would never say, "Give me your damn wallet." And you know what? When your grandson is 18, he's going to give me his wallet too. No Somali pirate has that kind of hubris to say that his desires are so important that he will reach into the future to grab the money of people who aren't even born yet to spend it to do whatever his desires are in the moment. So that right there is one quick example of how even the Somali pirates are better than the government that imploded on itself just before they swept in. Now again, I've done near zero research on this, but there's no way that a pirate can say that. And even if some pirate had the hubris to think that he could snatch the wallet of someone who isn't born yet, there's no way anyone would accept that. So that'll be it for this video. I'll apply the aftershave off screen. So thank you very much for watching. Hopefully this made some sense. I really think that it's important to understand the distinction between human nature, which is very bland, and adapt, pursue happiness. That's it. Anything else you add, you're not talking about the human nature. You're most likely talking about the human nature. So when people say we need a government because human nature is octagon, no, human nature is not octagon. I wouldn't necessarily shatter the glass, but try looking at some water that's poured into other shapes. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching. You can leave a comment below. You can like, share, subscribe on YouTube. On Twitter, I'm @SidrockMTL. So I'll see you in the next shave. I be the buzzer. You take care.